Hello everyone, in this video we'll be looking at international factor movements, in particular the effect of international labour mobility. Look at this graph here. Here we're looking at two factors of the economy. One's going to be stable, that will be land, T. After all, it's difficult to grow more land unless you're Dutch. And labour. So the effect of labour working on the land. Now I'm going to bring in a red line here first. Now if we had a perfectly arithmetical relationship where 1 unit of labour applied to the land would equal the same amount of output, we would get a line like this. But that's a bit unrealistic. In real life, we get diminishing returns. Now at some point, here for example, in order to get more output out of the land, we need to add more technology, for example, like fertilizers. And that's going to reduce the amount of profit that we're going to get out of it, so reduce the amount of product. And the more people that we add, the less efficient it is. So for example, say here to begin with, if we added one more worker, we would get €1 more worth of output. But here, if we add 1 more worker, we might get 99 cents, and here 98 cents, and further up 97 cents. So as you see, the graph flattens out. We call that the marginal product of labour. Now we're going to plot it in a different way here. So we have the marginal product of labour and labour. Look at this point here. This is how much labour we're applying into this economy, and everything under here is the total output of this particular economy. So the marginal product of labour depends on the total amount of labour we apply to the economy. We also indicate the real wage of the economy earned by each worker. And the real wage earned by each worker would be that worker's marginal product. So here we see the amount earned by all of the workers in the economy. And what about the rest that's left over? Well, those are the rents earned by the landowners. So again, here, 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 that's the total output of the economy. That's the share earned by the workers, the labourers. That's the share earned by the landowners. Okay, now let's look at two economies, both producing just one product. I know it's a little bit unrealistic, but heck, this is economics. Don't worry about this graph looking very complicated, it'll seem easier later. What we can see here, country X. Country X is relatively labour abundant, so its ratio of labour to land means it's got more labour than it has land compared to country Y. And we see here, this is the total number of workers working the land will be L1, labour working the land. So look at point C. This would be the marginal product of labour for country X. And point B will be the marginal product of labour for country Y. And you can see here that workers in country X earn less than workers in country Y. So there's that gap. On the other hand, landowners in country X earn this amount of the economy, whereas landowners in country Y earn this amount. Now what would happen if you allowed people to move freely across borders? Now remember, we're assuming similar technology, similar skills from the labourers. What will happen is that workers from country X will think, oh, I like how much money these guys are earning. And gradually they will emigrate over to country Y until there will be a point here, A, where we get equilibrium, where the wages for country X and country Y are the same, meaning there's no real incentive for workers from country X to move over anymore. Now what does this mean? Clearly there are some winners and some losers. the workers from country X are going to be winners. Why is that? Well, first of all, there are the guys who moved over in the first place. They got higher wages than they did originally, but then again, so did everybody else because there were fewer workers. L got to here. So everybody who either stayed in country X or left country X to country Y got an increase in wages. And what about country Y? Well, not so good for the workers here. Because of the influx of labour from country X, their wages went down. Are there any other winners and losers here? Let's have a look at country X first. First of all, originally, the landowners had this proportion of the economy. Now they have that, so they're worse off. What about country Y? Originally, the landowners earned this amount. Now they earn a bigger chunk, so they're happier. What else can we say about this? Well, we can say that the whole economy in country X shrank. Before, it was here, so from here, CLO. Well, now it's shrunk by A, C, L1, L2, because they've moved that way. What about the economy of country Y? Well, that's increased. They've had more workers applying to the land. So these workers have gone from here to here, meaning it's increased by A, B, L1, L2. Notice then that the amount that this has increased, 1, 2, 3 there, is larger than the amount that this has decreased. Here, here, here. Meaning the total output of these economies has increased by A, B, C. We can see then, just as with trade, labour movements can have quite a profound effect on the size of the world economy, growth as a whole. However, just as with trade, there are some losers. In this case, the workers in country B are earning less money, so we're probably not going to be that happy with the influx of workers from country X. And in country X, the landowners will be losers. So there are some political problems to deal with. And there we have a simple summary of the effects of international labour mobility.